But you see those self-help books, 100 ways to make money, how to be smarter, how to level up your life. I cannot be bothered. I'm sorry, I would not read it. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Blessing. I'm a writer currently working on my debut novel. And in this video, I'm going to be reacting to bookish hot takes. Reading fiction doesn't make you a smart reader. I totally disagree with that. And I feel like there's a lot of argument about this. Many people say, oh, because you're reading fiction, it's just a story that was made up. It doesn't make you smarter. But that's a big lie. Reading fiction makes you smarter. Reading anything makes you smarter, whether it be fiction, whether it be non-fiction. And I feel like people should stop putting a category to say, oh, this one makes you smarter, this one doesn't make you smarter. Everything makes you smarter. As long as you're reading, I believe that it makes you smarter. Even if the reading is romance, because people have also argued and said that, oh, reading romance books, they don't make you smarter and all of that. But I believe that any form of reading you're doing makes you smarter because you're gaining knowledge no matter what. No matter what, even if it's just a new name that you discovered from reading fiction, it's something and it has made you one step smarter than somebody that doesn't know that name. So reading anything makes you smarter. Reading 100+ books a year doesn't count if it's romance. I just talked about this now. Reading anything counts. Okay, no matter the genre, if it's horror, if it's self-help book, if it's biography, whatever you're reading counts as reading. It's a very somehow statement to say, because how would you say, even if I read 100 books, if it's romance book that I'm reading, then I did not read. But I looked at it, I looked at the words, I read it. So make it make sense to me, because what you're saying is not making sense. Even if it's just reading something on a billboard, it still counts as reading. So why will you say a whole book made up of 200 and something pages because it's romance, it's not reading? What are you saying, bro? If you don't DNF books you're hating, you're fake. Let me just clarify this. When they say to DNF a book, that means you did not finish the book. That's what it stands for. So it says that if you did not DNF a book that you hate, you're fake. This is actually controversial because people read for different purposes. If I'm reading for school purpose and I have to read that book even if I don't like it, I will not DNF it because it's for school and I have to read it. I have to finish it because I will get tested on it. And if I'm reading for pleasure, and obviously, like, it's just really tricky because DNFing a book because you don't like it is not like a standard for anything. You can not like a book but just want to see how it plays out. You may not like a book and you just have to read it. Okay, so I don't think that in itself makes you now fake because you know you did not like it but you did not stop reading it. I mean, if it's a book that I bought with my hard-earned money, I may not want to DNF it though. I may just want to finish it and at least know how it ends. But saying that because I don't like a book and I did not DNF it is fake, I don't agree with that. Not every book needs a happy ending. Totally agree with this. Not every book deserves a happy ending. No. I know I've read a lot of books that had happy endings, but not every book deserves an happy ending. And my book 1 of the book, my debut novel, actually does not have a happy ending. So I totally agree with this, that not every book deserves a happy ending. I will not buy a book with a hideous cover. I will not also buy a book with a hideous cover, except if I have to buy it. Like when I was in school, I didn't have a choice because I studied English literature. I don't have a choice. Sometimes I had to buy books even though the covers were hideous. But personally, buying books for my own pleasure, I would not buy a book if the cover is hideous. I would rather even buy a book just because of the cover and the title. Like, those are the two things that attract me to a book, not even maybe reading the blurb. The blurb adds to it, but once I see the cover, once I see the title, that is what attracts me to buy a book. So I would not, with my own hard-earned money, for pleasure, buy a book if the cover is hideous. Required reading for school shouldn't only be comprised of classics. I totally agree with this. We shouldn't only have classics in school compulsory reading. Sometimes mix it up. Sometimes add some fun books to it, okay? Well, most of the classics that I read in school, they were actually not that bad. They were not bad, but it's not something that I personally would have used my money to buy for myself. So yeah, I think that they should also comprise of more contemporary books right now, because I think that is even more relatable because we're in contemporary times now. So school books should not be just classics. Let's have some contemporary books as well. Okay? There are a lot of hidden gems in self-published books. I do not read self-published books. I do not like self-published books. So whether there are gems there or not, I cannot be bothered because it's not my cup of tea. So this is not for me. So if there are gems, that's good for the people that read self-published books. But I personally, I would not read a self-published book. Except if it's a memoir. I read memoirs because they're like also reading stories. But you see those self-help books, 100 ways to make money, how to be smarter, how to level up your life. I cannot be bothered. I'm sorry. I would not read it. So I know that there may be gems there, but I really don't like music in books. Okay, I get where this person might be coming from, because sometimes when there's music in books, it's just going to be the lyrics. So if you don't know the song, the music has no relevance to you because you can't even sing it. You can't vibe to it in the book because it's just the lyrics. So I get where this person is coming from, that they don't like music in books. And yeah, I don't mind. My debut novel has to do with a girl who is a singer. So but I didn't like put the lyrics of songs in it because I know that there's no need. People are not going to be able to know the songs anyway. So I just like described the feeling, how the crowd felt, how she sang, how the song feels, rather than putting the actual lyrics in it, because at the end of the day, people are not going to be able to sing it. So it's just like useless there. I don't care how fast people can read. I don't care to. And I'm actually going to do a whole different video on this reading thing, because TikTok and the whole book community, they just make you feel so slow with reading. You see some people that will say, I read 10 books in a month, I read 20 books in a month, I read 5 books in 1 week. And I'm like, how are you people doing it? How? Are you really reading that book, or are you just scanning through it? Because how can you read 10 books in 1 month? Make it make sense to me. I've been reading a book since last year, December, or when was it good? But it's not even because the book is not boring. The book is not boring, no. But I've not just been able to finish it. So how are people doing it? Like, I need tips actually, because I want to be able to be a fast reader and be able to read all the books on my to be read. But I've not even finished reading one. So it's like, how am I able to read all of this in 1 month? Hey, you people are really trying. Like, big ups to the people that can read 100 books in 3 months. Like, you're doing a great work if you actually are reading those amount of books and you're not just deceiving us. You see what you see? Because internet people, which I can come and say, I read 30 books in 2 hours. And you people will believe me, because what's there to doubt? Books over 500 pages are unnecessary. Any book that is reaching 300 pages is like, what are we saying? What are we writing? What are we talking about? Because why would a book even have 500 pages? No offense to the books that have 500 pages, but it's like, what are you people saying? Like, how did you have the patience to sit down and write 500 pages? What of I just can't fathom it. It's a reason why there's so many popular books that I can't even sit down and read. I don't know if calling names of these books is good in this video, but I'm sure you get the books I'm talking about. Because why? 500 pages? I've been struggling to read a book that is just over 300 pages. So you give me 500? I can't. I can't. I mean, books over 300 are unnecessary, not to talk of 500 pages. Like, what the hell are we saying that we couldn't say in over 200 pages and get it done? What are we saying that is that deep that we had to write a whole 500 pages? My dear, you will read that book yourself, oh, because I will not be partaking in that. I'm sorry. I don't want to know if it's the number one bestseller book. I don't even read books based on the hype. I read books that I know that I want to read. So even if it's on the New York bestseller list, I'm not going to read that book. There's 500 pages. I will not even read a book that is 390 something pages. I will not read it. I'm sorry. So yeah, a book of 500 is highly unnecessary because we could have wrapped it up at 250, at most 350. We could have wrapped it up. Writing a book is easy, publishing is the hard part. This is very tricky because I don't think that one part is easier than the other. Writing writing a book is not easy. Writing a book is hard. It takes discipline, it takes patience, it takes critical thinking. It's not easy. And then when you now finish writing and you feel like, oh, I've done it. I've written a book. Then now go to publishing. If you want to go the traditional route, you need to get a literary agent. You also, before you get a literary agent, you need to be querying to get the literary agent, which takes people like years. Because I hear people say the query trenches. I've not been there. I've not even tried to be there. So publishing is not the easy part. Then there's self-publishing, which people think is the easier route, but it's not. You gotta have your coins. You gotta publishing is not easy. Both are not easy. Both are not easy. So I cannot agree that one part is easier than the other. It's not. Plotters are better writer than pansters. So for people that are non-writers, a plotter is somebody that outlines their book to the T, while a pantster is someone that just goes with the flow. I am a pantster. No, I am in the middle. I forgot. I think it's pantster they call it. Yeah, I'm in the middle. I think of an idea, I write it down. I know specific things that I want to happen, but I don't go outlining everything chapter to chapter. So I cannot say that plotters are better than pantster because I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. I neither plot to the T and I neither do not know what I'm doing. Like I just write. Okay. I don't know if that makes sense. So yeah, I can't choose a side and say this is better than the other. So here you have it. These are some of the hot takes that I found online. You can share some of your own writing hot takes as well in the comment sections and I would react to them as well. And yeah, I would see you in my next video.